Coming up on Falcon Weekly, shots are fired in a Selma church. Find out who the gunman targeted in the congregation.
Plus, coming to America, the United States is preparing for its first visit from Pope Francis. See why one Alabama teacher is excited for the Pope's visit.
And the Emmy goes to... Some of the brightest stars in Hollywood gathered in LA to celebrate the best of television. We'll recap some of the biggest moments.
Plus, special delivery. This guy found $1,300 hidden in the Domino's delivery box. Find out what happened with the money. Falcon Weekly starts now. Hello and welcome to Falcon Weekly. I'm Matt Haskins.
And I'm Courtney Stroop. Thanks so much for joining us.
We begin with a story making headlines across Alabama. 3 people are recovering after a man opened fire during a church service in Selma.
James Jr. Minter shot his girlfriend and infant child as well as the pastor of the church during Sunday services. Minter fled the scene and was arrested less than a mile from the church. Selma District Attorney Michael Jackson says the shooting has caused alarm throughout the community.
In different churches, we're talking about this situation. It's just shocking for a lot of people. But again, this is the world we live in now. It's sad that you can't just go and worship in church. You have to stay alert about who's around you now and that type of thing. And of course, this is another instance of domestic violence. It's going terribly, terribly wrong.
Police say Minter's motive may have been an ongoing dispute over child visitation. Turning now to the race for the White House.
Falcon Weekly's Austin Gates has the latest. Austin?
Thanks, guys. The Republican presidential candidate, Ben Carson, is taking heavy criticism for his opinion of the possibility of a Muslim president. And in the wake of Wednesday's GOP debate, another Washington outsider is making his presence known. Athena Jones reports.
Advocate that we put a Muslim in charge of this nation.
This shocking statement by Dr. Ben Carson under a spotlight this morning in the Republican presidential race. On NBC's Meet the Press Sunday, Carson said a Muslim president should not be in the Oval Office and that a president's faith should matter to voters.
If it's inconsistent with the values and principles of America, then of course it should matter.
Later, when Donald Trump was asked about the possibility of a Muslim president, he said,
some people have said it already happened.
A reference to President Barack Obama. Trump later adding,
he said he was a Christian, and he said he is a Christian. You know, I'm willing to take him at his word for that.
But Carson is doubling down on his controversial comments. In an interview with Washington newspaper The Hill, he said, quote, Muslims feel that their religion is very much a part of your public life, and that is inconsistent with our principles and our Constitution. Democrats were quick to pounce.
You judge candidates for president not on their religion, not on the color of their skin, but on their ideas on what they stand for.
This, as the latest CNN ORC poll shows Trump and Carson losing momentum with voters after the CNN debate. Trump still the frontrunner, but his lead slipping as Carly Fiorina makes the biggest jump, rising 12 percentage points.
And how many of you saw the debate on Wednesday night?
Over half of poll respondents who watched CNN's debate think Fiorina did the best job. Florida Senator Marco Rubio taking home second place, far better than his former mentor, Jeb Bush.
I think Carly had a good night, but I think you gave her a lot of very easy questions.
Trump now zeroing in on the post-debate star, attacking Fiorina's record as CEO once again Sunday, tweeting she did such a horrible job at Lucent at HP, she never got another CEO job offer. The GOP frontrunner writing, there is no way that Carly Fiorina can become the Republican nominee.
That was Athena Jones reporting. On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton's lead is continuing to grow over her rival Bernie Sanders. A new CNN poll shows Clinton leading with 42% of the Democratic primary voters. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders trails with 24%, and Vice President Joe Biden, who has yet to decide if he will enter the race, is third with 20%. When the numbers are run without the Biden option, Clinton's lead widens by a 2-to-1 margin. Vice President Joe Biden's wife will support him if he decides to run for president. Jill Biden made her support known through a spokesperson Sunday, after rumors surfaced that she was against his possible presidential run. Biden has said that he is still considering whether he is emotionally prepared for a presidential campaign. Around 50 Democratic donors and activists are circulating a letter urging him to run, and some outside supporters are already laying groundwork for his potential White House bid. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Austin Gates.
Pope Francis is set to arrive in Washington Tuesday afternoon after ending his visit to Cuba.
Chris Cuomo reports the Pope's schedule of appearances.
Pope Francis comes to the nation's capital Tuesday. He'll be the first pontiff to ever speak to Congress directly. While climate change and capitalism are expected talking points, some see his visit as a push toward fully lifting the U.S. trade embargo against Cuba. Controversial enough for one congressman to boycott.
I'm not sure if he's worried about alienating people. I mean, he'll be encouraging, but he speaks the truth.
Next, a trip to New York and the United Nations, where the growing refugee crisis is expected to be on the docket. Il Papa's visit will end in Philadelphia, where families will be his focus.
See you in Philadelphia.
The U.S. tour coming on the heels of his historic visit to Cuba over the weekend, at a time when the communist country is undergoing some change. Latin America's first pope praising the two nations for normalizing relations. And the tens of thousands in Havana's Revolution Square Sunday, a message of hope and faith.
Hacernos cargos por amor.
Calling on Cubans to serve one another, not an ideology. Signs of underlying political tensions as anti-government protesters are arrested after approaching the Pope-mobile. Pope Francis meeting privately with former leader Fidel Castro to discuss the environment and global economy. Then later meeting once again with younger brother Raul Castro. Ahead of the Pope's visit, the U.S. announcing further loosening of travel and business restrictions with Cuba. But on the streets of Havana, some hopeful, some doubtful that they'll ever see any positive impact on their lives. In the short run, I haven't seen any kind of change, says this man. Maybe later, but not yet. It's a necessary change that both countries need, this woman says. We need each other.
That was Chris Cuomo reporting. The Pope's U.S. visit has people here in Alabama excited. Mobile teacher Kathleen Riley is traveling to see the Pointiff speak. She says it is an excellent chance to connect with what she talks to her students about in class to the real world.
Opportunity for each of us to bring what we teach. It's alive and real by seeing the man that we speak about.
Birmingham city leaders had asked the Pope to make a stop in the Magic City, but a stop in Alabama is not on the trip's itinerary.
In other national news, a government shutdown may be in our future if Republicans and Democrats can't agree on a spending plan, and money for Planned Parenthood could be the holdup. The House has voted to approve a measure that would freeze federal funding to Planned Parenthood for 1 year while claims of unethical practices selling fetal tissue are being investigated, although the Democrats are expected to block the bill in the Senate. Congress must come to an agreement by September 30th in order to avoid a government shutdown. Secretary of State John Kerry says the U.S. is making preparations to welcome a larger number of refugees in the coming years. Currently, the country is able to take in a maximum of 70,000 people, but Kerry says the number will rise to 85,000 by the next fiscal year and 100,000 the year after that. Many of the additional refugees will come from Syria. Over 3,000 firefighters are gaining control of 2 massive fire outbreaks in California. California fire officials say the Butte fire is now 74% contained and all mandatory evacuations are lifted.
2 deaths are linked to the fire. The fire has also scorched nearly 71,000 acres and destroyed more than 500 homes. But those whose homes have been lost are seeing an outpouring of support. Reporter Mike Lurie has our story.
While helicopter crews search for hotspots from the air, evacuees like Annie Curtis are receiving help on the ground with donations from friends and neighbors.
And everything was destroyed. My house, the barn, the woodshed, 3 cars, some tractors, a whole backhoe, the tires melted off.
But there is help on the way for victims of the Butte fire in Mountain Ranch. And in Jackson, where the Central Church of Christ has been taking in food, water, and cleaning supplies to provide relief to those in need.
Well, we're all brothers and sisters. This time like this is where we really test ourselves. I think the Lord is testing us. You got to reach out and do what you can.
Are you feeling okay?
And that means giving comfort to 89-year-old evacuee Dwayne Steinsiek. He's fortunate because his home in Railroad Flats is still standing.
Unbelievable the amount of ash and soot.
And at Jackson Rancheria, people from near and far have been dropping off supplies to help. Wendy Sula drove up today from the Bay Area.
We wanted to help. And we see what's happened on the news, and our family's been affected. And what started out as a small plea on Facebook for my cousins that have lost 3 homes turned into something much bigger than me.
An outpouring of relief so generous that Jackson Rancheria can take in nothing more.
We've received so much donations. Like I was saying, we've actually packed everything up and we're sending it to the Valley Fire.
Lots of students leave campus on the weekends, but the Student Life Office is hoping to change all that by offering a variety of events each weekend. Falcon Weekly's Hannah Risch joins us from the newsroom with the latest on what Student Life is calling Wow Weekends. Hannah?
Thanks, Matt. I'm here with Student Government President Jacob Gordon. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you for allowing me.
First off, could you describe what a typical Wow Weekend is?
Well, a typical Wow Weekend, we'll have an event on Friday and an event on Saturday. Like this past weekend, we had the paint party on Friday, and then we had a cookout and showed some football games in Farmer on Saturday. And then next month, we have the Carnival for a Cure on Friday night. And Saturday, we're going to do some stuff around the volleyball game at 2 o'clock. Haven't got that completely nailed down yet, but those details will be forthcoming.
Last weekend, you guys had a paint party. Could you tell us a little bit about what that was like?
Well, last year, when I was UPC coordinator, we actually had a paint party at the end of the semester as well, so we figured we'd bring that back, try to do it a little bit better. Basically, we bring in a company, they set everything up, they play some music, people come out and dance, and they spray them with paint and have black lights. Some people think that's fun, so that's why we did it. We had about 85 there, so pretty good turnout for the weekend here.
And what sort of events are going to be held in the future?
Well, I know one next month we're having the Carnival for a Cure. The date is the 16th of October. Last year we did it, and we had a pretty good turnout. All the proceeds will go to cancer research. So basically think carnival games, funnel cakes, anything a carnival can have, we're going to have it there. And then next semester, I know we're bringing back the Battle of Bands from last year, so that'll be another fun thing to look forward to.
Thanks so much for stopping by, Jacob. Reporting live from the newsroom, I'm Hannah Risch. Back to you.
Remember, there's more news online 24/7. Just search for Falcon Weekly on Facebook and Twitter to see more stories and news updates throughout the week. Coming up, one pizza lover got more dough than he was expecting with his Domino's order. We'll show you what he found inside the box.
And fueling your workout? See how your morning cup of joe could be beneficial to your cardio.
Plus, the stars hit the red carpet for the 67th Emmy Awards. We'll recap the highlights from Hollywood. Those stories and more when Falcon Weekly returns.
Between class, work, and everything else on your plate, there isn't a whole lot of time to watch the news.
And that's why here at Falcon Weekly, we focus on the stories that you need to hear.
So once a week, tune in for the news that impacts your life and matters to you. From campus events to entertainment and health updates to the latest national and world news, Falcon Weekly is your one-stop shop for information.
And you can always find information from us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Falcon Weekly. Find your news here.
In this week's consumer news, the deadline for businesses to get their new credit card readers installed is quickly approaching.
On October 1st, businesses who do not have a new chip readers on their card machines will be held responsible for fraudulent charges made. The chip card has a small silver square on it. Consumers will insert their cards into the new machines rather than swiping them through a magnetic reader. This process takes a little more time, but is designed to provide an extra layer of security for in-store purchases. If a business doesn't install the new reader and card information is stolen from the system, the business, not the credit card company, will be liable for fraudulent purchases.
The world's first 8K television goes on sale next month, and it's going to cost you quite the pretty penny to buy one. Sharp will begin selling its 85-inch ultra-high-definition TV set on October 30th. The screen has a whopping 38 million pixels, offering 16 times the resolution of standard high-def TVs. But they're not 8K programming available to watch it at the moment. You will need HDMI. You will need 4 HDMI connectors and a computer that supports 8K video output just to make it work. The cost for such a TV, $133,000. Princess Leia's bikini costume from the 1983 blockbuster Return of the Jedi is up for auction. Online site Invaluable.com will begin taking bids on the iconic costume on October 1st. The skimpy prop was famously worn by Carrie Fisher in the Star Wars film. The costume includes a collar that Jabba the Hutt used to keep the kidnapped princess on a tight leash. Bidding will start at $80,000. Experts predict it could sell for as much as $120,000.
Now it's time for a new segment that we're calling The Buzz. It's where we'll talk about the stories that got us talking. We're joined by Buzz anchor Kiera Hood and Falcon Weekly weather reporter Haley Sugg. Kiera, what have you got for us this week?
Thank you, Courtney. Well, there's a few things that we're buzzing about today on Falcon Weekly. Alabama and Auburn take a loss and social media goes haywire with trash talk. And an Alabama city is considering placing a ban on saggy pants. And a train across the U.S. for $213? Who knew? And that's not it. We're also buzzing about a surprise inside a Domino's wing delivery box. Let's start with football. The state of Alabama took 2 big losses this weekend, but for fans, it got a little personal. Many people took to Facebook and Twitter to express their frustrations. Football trash talk in the state of Alabama is real, but do some people take it a little too far? What do you guys think?
I think they definitely take it too far.
People they're just very prideful. You know, when you're born in the state, you're either Alabama or Auburn. You know, and you get brought up, and you got your parents who, you know, if they liked Alabama, you know, you were brought up to think, oh, Alabama, Auburn's bad, and the same thing for Auburn. So I just think it's, you know, it's definitely, you know, I think it's taking, yeah.
Yeah, people
crazy.
Don't even go to the school, and they're just, where are you going to roll
I know, it's ridiculous.
I don't know, I guess it is. People just love sports, I guess. All right, wearing saggy pants or mini skirts in one Alabama town may soon cost you. City council members in the town of Dadeville are considering a city dress code that would ban saggy pants and extra short skirts. The city council member pushing for the ordinance says it's all about respect. If the dress code is passed, violators could be fined up to $100. What do you guys think about this?
I don't know. Where do you draw the line when you start finding people for what they wear?
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. I mean, we get what they're trying to do, but it's just.
I mean, I'm with the idea.
It's a little extreme.
Yeah, as far as making it a law.
I don't know. I feel like they may have took that a little bit too far. But I get what they're trying to do. I get it. But
well, let's hope it works, because that's a bit much.
I know.
Right, next, turns out you don't need a car to travel across America. There's a post going around on social media that has a lot of people talking about taking a train ride from across coast to coast. For writer Derek Lowe, it only costs $213 to travel from San Francisco to New York. The train ride took just 4 days. That sounds like a pretty neat trip to me. What do you guys think about that?
That's really cheap.
Pay $213 to travel around.
It takes a while though, so I guess if you got some time to kill.
I mean, yeah, obviously you're gonna have a little bit of time to kill.
But 4 days isn't bad. Think about how taking your own car.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you drove. But then I don't know if you get to do stops and stuff on a train like you would.
But you do sleep on the train.
Yeah, you do get to sleep on the train.
You do. It is a better view though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and the last story that has us buzzing is about a man in Berkeley, California who got an amazing deal from Domino's Pizza Friday. Along with pizza, the delivery chain accidentally threw in $1,300 in cash. Natasha Suves reports.
So I ordered some pizza. I thought I had the day off, and I was going to sit home and just enjoy my relaxation.
This story starts with the ordinary. Mike Vegas of Berkeley called up Domino's and ate just one slice before putting the rest of the order in the fridge. It wasn't until several hours later he noticed.
My phone started blowing up. I wasn't looking. It was random messages, and I was at work, so I wasn't answering.
Those phone calls would be from the delivery driver who had been on his way to the bank with just one more delivery to make. He put the cash in the wings box for safekeeping, but made a big mistake.
And about 5 a.m. I got home from work and looked at my refrigerator and pulled out what I thought was wings, and it turned out to be $1,300. We had 666 here and 632 here for about $1,300 total.
It's one of those moments you wonder, what would you do?
I made a Facebook post, and of course there's a long list of people, arguing, you should keep it, you shouldn't keep it, you should keep it, you shouldn't keep it. I wanted to keep it, believe me, but I can't do it.
We watched as he walked it in.
No, thank you so much. Honest people are really, really hard to find these days.
And it looks like karma might be a real thing after all.
To thank you, we're gonna offer you free pizza for a whole year.
It's an offer Mike plans to take the chain up on.
I'm gonna have to start working out more, obviously, so.
Well, I do enjoy free pizza, but I think I would have wanted some more wings. They did that. What would you guys have done in this situation?
A year's worth of pizza. I mean, I would be honest. I couldn't just keep that. Plus, they knew where he lived, so,
Yeah, I mean, you got to be honest right there. That's too much money to just, to keep for
Well, the
yourself.
guy didn't know where he lived it. I mean,
Yeah, but, I mean, still.
That would come back to you, I'm
yeah,
sure.
Right.
That'd come back to you. It makes me hungry thinking about it.
I know. I want wings now.
Thanks, Kiera. Now it's time for a check on our Montevallo forecast.
Haley, what's this week's forecast looking like?
It looks like we're going to have a sunny week for the most part, with ending with some rain. Starting with the overnight forecast, we're going to have lows in the 60s and even in the high 50s in some areas. And then in the upcoming week, on the weekdays, we're going to have sunny weekdays with highs in the 80s and lows in the 60s. But it may be a gloomy weekend with rain throughout Saturday and running into Sunday morning with highs in the early 80s and lows in the 60s. And that's your weekly forecast.
If you're a caffeine drinker, you may find it has a surprising benefit. Drinking a little Joe may help our exercise. Holly Furfer has more on today's Health Minute.
If you want a better workout, try a little caffeine before you lace up your tennis shoes. It may boost your exercise routine. How so? For starters, if you're a trained athlete, it may help you burn more calories a few hours post-workout, according to a study out of Spain. Other research from Japan finds that drinking coffee may also improve circulation, getting our blood flowing a little more. Better circulation may mean a better workout. And a study from Johns Hopkins finds that caffeine helps improve memory. People who had about 8 ounces of coffee did better on memory tests given a day later. This brain boost may help with recall for your exercise routine. For endurance athletes, combining caffeine with carbs after a workout may increase the stockpile of muscle fuel, meaning more reserves for the next workout. That's according to a study in the Journal of Applied Physiology. But don't overdo it. If you do consume caffeine, keep it to about 400 milligrams a day, the equivalent of about a 16-ounce cup of coffee. And don't forget to continue to drink plenty of water. For today's Health Minute, I'm Holly Furfer.
Sunday night's 67th Primetime Emmy Awards was full of glitz, glamour, and groundbreaking winners. Mary Maloney has the highlights from one of television's biggest nights.
Stars shined at the 67th Annual Emmy Awards, and because of the hot LA temperatures, some even glistened. Inside, host Andy Samberg gave everyone free HBO, and comedian Tracy Morgan walked on stage 15 months after surviving a crash that killed his friend.
I miss you guys so much.
John Hamm finally got an Emmy after 16 nominations. The Mad Men star even crawled up on stage to accept the award for Best Actor in a Drama. Viola Davis became the first black actress to win an award for lead in a drama. She won for How to Get Away with Murder.
The only thing that separates women of color from anyone else
is opportunity.
Jeffrey Tambor won Best Actor in a Comedy for Transparent.
I'd like to dedicate my performance and this award to the transgender community.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus won Best Actor in a Comedy for Veep, which won for Best Comedy. And Game of Thrones took home the Emmy for Best Drama. On the big screen, Maze Runner: The Scorched Trials took the top spot at the box office. Black Mass came in at number 2, and The Visit rounded out the top 3. For Hollywood Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
Coming up, cross-country season is in full swing. Find out who captured titles at the Falcon Classic on Saturday.
And a sporting event brought 36,000 people to Birmingham. And it was not American football. See which professional team came to Legion Field on Sunday. Sports is next.
You want to feel connected, informed, included on every screen in your life. We are broadcasters, always here for you, wherever here may be. Text Washington. Tell them local stations matter.
Welcome back to Falcon Weekly. I'm Elizabeth Reinhart with a look at this week's sports. It was a big weekend for Montevallo's cross-country teams. The men's team finished first in the Falcon Classic meet held here in Montevallo on Saturday. 9 Falcons placed in the top 21. This is the first time the men have captured the title. Meanwhile, the women's cross-country team won the Falcon Classic title for the second consecutive year. Peach Belt Conference Runner of the Week, sophomore Katie Nelson, claimed the individual title in 22 minutes and 21 seconds. 6 other Falcons finished in the top 15. The volleyball team won in 5 sets at GRU Augusta on Saturday. They are now 7-4 on the season. The Falcons will face Columbus State at home on September 29th at 7 p.m. It was a rough weekend for Montevallo soccer. Both the men and women lost to UNC Pembroke. The men lost 2-1 in overtime and the women lost 2-0. Wrapping up campus sports, the women's lacrosse team is preparing to host a scrimmage on September 26th. The Falcons will play Alabama, Huntington, and Samford. Switching to SEC football, it was an odd weekend in the state of Alabama for college football fans. Auburn and Alabama lost in the same day for the first time since 2012. It was Tigers versus Tigers in Baton Rouge. Auburn was scoreless in the first half and trailed LSU the whole day. The game ended with a 45-21 Auburn loss in Death Valley. In Tuscaloosa, Ole Miss capitalized off 5 tied turnovers and beat Alabama for the second consecutive year with a score of 43-37. The Tide had not lost at home since the Texas A&M game in 2012. Finally this week, 36,000 people watched the United States women's soccer national team play in Birmingham on Sunday. The reigning FIFA World Cup champions crushed Haiti 8-0 at Legion Field. World Cup MVP Carly Lloyd scored a hat trick in the win. And that's a look at this week's sports.
Thanks, Elizabeth. That's all the time we have for this week's show. Thank you so much for joining us.
For more UM news from MassCom students, reporters, be sure to check out the Falcon News Network blog. The web address is on your screen. We'll see you again next week.